What up YouTube, this is Maximus Confesses here, and today I'm going to be doing a video revolving around philosophy of mind, specifically around an argument by the American philosopher Alvin Plantinga, henceforth known as Plantingles. Why Plantingles? Well, of course I'm going to have to shout out my buddies, Scientist Sam and Haunted Shore. Their channels are going to be annotated somewhere in this area. So, what is Plantingles' argument? Well, I'm going to have to give another shout out to Glenn Peoples, who is a brilliant theologian who takes a monistic philosophy on what mind is. That means he thinks that the mind is going to be a material thing, something we can look at and dissect. And what does this mean again for Alvin Plantinga's position, or Plantingles' position I might say? Well, it means he's going to take the contrary view. It means he's going to be supporting dualism. Dualism is the position that your mind is immaterial and separate from the body or distinct from the body in some way, shape, or form. I myself am a dualist, but I don't think Alvin Plantingles' argument works. And here's why. Let's go on to the argument. And again, you can find this at Right Reason, the blog site of Glenn Peoples, link below. And I'm also going to link his channel because he's also a YouTuber, and I've had conversations with him online. Brilliant dude. But let's commence. His argument reads, "It seems possible that I continue to exist when B, my body, does not. I therefore have the property possibly exists, when B does not. B, however, clearly lacks that property. By Leibniz's law, therefore, more specifically the diversity of discernibles, I am not identical with the body." End quote. So according to Plantingles over here, we have a property that distinguishes us, our minds that is, from the body. Now, I'm going to have to explain two things for you guys. Leibniz's law and modal logic, because you guys might not be familiar with the two. Leibniz's law states that A is equal to B if and only if A has all the same properties as B. Let's take an example. The morning star and the evening star. The morning star was a celestial body, and so is the evening star. And we might think, okay, what happened? Well, celestial bodies don't disappear, but new information does come about, and we discovered they were really the same body known as Venus. They were really identical. And this is what the dualism-monism debate is with regards to what the mind is. Namely, is the mind identical to the body, or is it distinct? This takes us to modal logic, which deals with possibility and necessity. So, what is possible? Something is possible if it's a coherent idea. So let's take an example. A green circle is a coherent idea. It's possible that circles can be green. No debate here. However, what is impossible is this. It's impossible that a square can also be a circle. So circular squares do not exist. That's a necessary fact. It's not coherent at all. Therefore, it's a necessary fact that squares and circles do not cohabitate. They cannot be part of the same thing. You're either circular or you're square. Now, what does this tell us about what our body is and what our mind is? Well, it's simple. Imagine a world where nothing exists but your mind and everything is an illusion of your mind, even your body. There's nothing contradictory about that, is there? I can't think of one. So it strikes me as being possible that your mind exists when your body does not. But let's go back here. Couldn't we say the same thing about the morning star and the evening star? By that definition, we could imagine that the morning star and the evening star weren't the same thing, but it didn't make it so. They were, in fact, identical as we came to know. So let's introduce a new term. Let's call this possibly necessary. Now, it's possibly necessary, there is no contradiction in saying this, that the mind is indeed identical to the body or a function of the body. That's a perfectly valid position. I don't see any contradiction there. I also don't see any contradiction to saying that the mind and the body are distinct. There's also strikes me as no contradiction here. So it can't be both positions. So it's possibly a necessary fact that the mind exists while the body doesn't, but it's also a possibly necessary fact that the body and the mind are identical and the same thing. both statements strike me as equally truthful. So with that in mind, I conclude that this argument is not conclusive, and we can't draw anything from it, making it, in the debate over whether or not your mind is material or immaterial, completely superfluous. So with that, I close it. Plantingles did not really fulfill his burden of proof or warrant when it came to proving that the mind is indeed not identical to the body. And again, I'd like to thank Glenn Peebles. The dude's awesome. And thank you all. See you later.